Hello and welcome back to episode number 6 of my ultimate walkthrough guide for Bloodborne. Today we're going to be finishing off the Cathedral Ward area and ending with the defeat of the boss, Vicar Amelia. Alright, so before I leave, I want to go ahead and upgrade my firearm because I want to be able to equip some bloodstones. So let's go to Fortify Weapon. And I'm going to go to the Hunter Blunderbuss, but if you've only got the pistol or whatever firearm you're using, just make sure that you upgrade it once so that you're able to slot in a blood gem. So what I want to do here is actually put in the healing item. Since I'm barely using the gun, but it's usually equipped, I'm going to make sure to put my healing item on that. So we'll go here and swap this. And we'll go over here and place that there. So now we've got more damage with our main hand weapon, but we also have the healing that we were enjoying before. Oh, man. Gassy. Drinking some Red Bull. That's what happens, people. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is going back to the Cathedral Ward. And we're going to head straight out the front. And I will take my time through some of these enemies just so we make sure that you're able to follow. Whoops. Still got it, baby. Still got it. Go ahead and kill this burb. Alright, so I'm going to point out we have an enemy over there in the corner. That's Sackboy, the kidnapper. We will eventually willingly die to that enemy, but just stay away from them for now. So we'll just continue up here. He got me with that slow swing. Just want to make sure that kidnapper wasn't following me for any reason. Some loot skis? Ah, bummer. Okay, so you might have a glowing item here if you didn't happen to loot it last episode. This is what the ladder that we came down to open up this shortcut. All of this should be open and available as long as you've been following the guide thus far. Okay, so first of all, to start things off, we're going to head this way because we're not going up towards the boss. But we want to open up that passageway. So let's grab this loot real quick. And then we're going to go on the other side and kill this dog. Grab the item right here. Do not climb this ladder. We don't want to go up there yet. Let's get this device. Keep an eye on the enemies. They typically won't pursue because they have that ranged ability. So once we're in here, we're going to want to fight this big boy over on the left side so that there's no chance of the other one coming to help out. So you want to just stay right around their legs. It's a pretty obvious method to fight them. Whoops. And the only reason I target lock those guys is because I like to dodge in a semicircle around them so that we're still in range to hit immediately. And we'll just go ahead and take out the other one. I was a little bit impatient there. Typically want to get in a swing or two at a time. Alright, sweet. So, let's go ahead and loot the area before we continue forward. You can see there's some roaming enemies, but nobody inside this circle here that we need to be afraid of. This is the area we came from, so if you want to orient yourself, this is exactly the entrance. So just make sure you loot everything in this circle here. You can actually grab this item against the fence from this side. You don't need to go on the other side of it. And now, what I want to do is head over here. There is a couple crows and a brain eater. You can hear the brain boy. Oh, he got me. I was trying to charge one up. This guy is nowhere near as tough as the other one we fought. That's why I kind of went in there without too much caution. Grab the loot. These are good upgrade materials. We're going to be able to get our axe to +6 shortly. So this is part of the reason we're doing this, but obviously we basically grab all the stuff we can. All right. Pick this up. And this. And this is ultimately going to be a dead end, but I want to show you what this is, so we'll have a recollection of it later. This door here takes a password. We only get the password after we defeat Vicar Amelia, so that's the boss that we're going to fight at the end of this episode.
The password.
It's just hilarious, isn't it? Hilarious! So yeah, we don't have the password, obviously, so that's not a choice for us at the moment. So that is essentially a dead end, but the loot here we definitely wanted to grab. And what we're going to do now is head through the bigger opening. So we're going to go back to that big circle area. Oh, let me also point this out. This is open here, but do not drop down here. This will force you to do some backtracking. Obviously, we can get hit there as well, but that way is a good way to get the jump on those enemies, but it's also going to force us to do some backtracking, which you'll understand in a moment. So I'm trying to make it the most convenient path possible. So we'll kill this one first. Oh, he's a flame guy. I almost forgot. I was waiting for him to attack me with melee. Yeah, those are pretty rare. You don't see those guys too often, so they definitely surprise you. Open up this door here. Alright, so this is the wraparound that we could get to originally. This we couldn't open unless we had the item that we purchased for 10,000 blood echoes. So this is now open, but as you can see, there was no reason for us to buy that early on, because we could still get here in the same amount of time that we really wanted to. So you just be like spending blood echoes to rush this zone when we wouldn't want to do it yet anyway. All right, so we'll go ahead and kill this burb, pick up the loot. Deal with this boy. We're going to pick up some more poison knives in this area as well. Poison's good to whittle away at enemies that are giving you a hard time. You don't want to use them on low health enemies, obviously, but we've got a guy right to the right of this opening. You can see him here, so let's just go ahead and take him out. I like to take him out immediately because you can forget about him after you're talking to these NPCs over here. You first want to deal with this door on the left. How rude.
But I'd take it over the stench of blood and beasts any day. What is it then? I'm off during hunts, so if that's what you're here for, I'll leave you to your own devices. If that doesn't do it, come back in the morning, darling. thank goodness. You're a hunter, right? Might you know of a safe place? The night is long, and a very little of the incense left. Please, there must be some nice place to run off to.
Alright, so with this specific NPC, we definitely want to tell them to go to the Odin Chapel.
Oh, thank you, darling. Maybe I'll see you there.
Yes, we will definitely see her there. The good thing about having that NPC there is we'll be able to get a blood vial from her that allows us to use it as a healing item. And we can't carry more than one, but each time we grab one from her and use it, whenever we return to her, she'll have another one available to us. Let's go ahead and kill this guy. He's usually wandering with an actual beast. So it's good to get the jump on him like that in that situation. Now this NPC in particular, we have to lie to him. So we don't actually want him to go to Yosefka's clinic, but he doesn't believe us. So if we tell him to go to Yosefka's clinic, he's going to go to Odin Chapel, and that's where we want him. So even though this guy is a piece of shit pain in the ass, we still want him to go to the right place, which is Odin Chapel. So therefore we have to lie to him because he doesn't believe us anyways.
You're not from around here, are you? What, an outsider who's come to join the hunt? What a pathetic idea. You what? What, you think I'm a beast? Well, maybe I think you're a beast.
You what?
And step away from our castle.
You what, mate?
Oh, enough of you. What, you think this is funny? Well, I certainly don't, so be gone with you. I'll have nothing to do with your beast stunts. What's this two-bit nonsense you're peddling? I heard you told that wench about some shelter. Well, she's a damn fool to trust an outsider. Why? Well, her sort's probably just fixing to feed some of your coin. All right. What crafty lies does the outsider have today? You think I'm an easy mark? Yeah? Well, give me your best shot.
Alright, so clearly he's proven himself to not want to trust you, so we'll tell him about Yosefka's clinic.
Yeah, sorry. Too sharp for that bollocks. I know a superstition when I hear one. Outsiders. Even their lies are predictable.
Yep, so that's all we need to do with those two, and the next time we return to Odin Chapel, which you guys know as the Cathedral Ward lamppost, that's where they'll be. So we should have 3 NPCs there now with the old lady as well. Alright, so this thing right here can definitely surprise you. They're sleep guarding that outfit. There should be a beast roaming this area. I'm surprised we haven't seen him yet. There's really nothing going on here besides some interesting dialogue.
We've the deepest gratitude for the church and all they do for us. Deepest, widest gratitude, yes. Yes.
That trollop. Alright, so let's see if we can get eyes on the beasties here. So we see the shotgun guy up there, or the rifleman. I'm really confused as to why we haven't gotten the beast. But that's okay. As long as he's not gonna like ambush me, I'm good with that. So let's go over here in the doorway. There he is. Let's bail out. Hello, buddy. Oh, no. He's so tough. He doesn't stagger at all. I was expecting like a little bit of a stagger there. Usually I shoot the guy, so I kind of expected after the second hit he would flinch or something, but nope. Stronk boy. Okay. So, going back to this guy that's like banging his head on the door.
Praise you. Praise the old damn church. And best of luck hunting. Best luck of all.
Yep. Just the usual craziness. Alright, so we just want to get up underneath this guy. Now we want to go around to the stairs here. And wait for the roaming enemy to come join us. Let's see if we can get their attention here. There he goes. That shot should have staggered him. That was kind of weird. Like usual, we just want to wait until this guy's in between shots. Now keep your eye on that room right there. See if we can get the attention of the Beast Boy. Beastie Boy. All right. So as you can tell, this is the area that I was pointing out earlier with the broken gate fencing area. So this is why I wanted to take the route that we did, because otherwise you just have to be backtracking all the way around to where those civilians were and all the way up into the circle area where we opened up the gate. So it wouldn't have made much sense. Wouldn't have given us that much of an advantage. At least down here, you've got a systematic cover system. So even though the fight is, you're at a disadvantage on the lower ground, your cover is so good that it doesn't really become an issue of any sort. All right, so now what we're going to do is climb up this ladder here. Oh, that guy was so well hidden right there. I can't believe we're hitting each other at the same time there. He's got a long ass pitchfork that he's like hitting me with the handle or something. Really odd. Okay. So anyways, this ladder leads us to an area which we could access from another part, but I discouraged you from doing so for the very reason, if you come down this ladder with those enemies alive, there's probably a 90% chance they're going to kill you, even if you know they're there. They just have such an advantage and they attack you instantly once you hit the ground. Like, you don't get a chance to counterattack or dodge or anything like that. You're going to take damage immediately. A watchman of Bergenworth guards the gate with a password, the sacred adage of the Grand Cathedral. This is a good spot to get a vantage point just to see how things connect and also to see if you missed any loot skis. So there is a ladder here if you want to take it. Or you can just quickly drop down here and then drop once more. We'll grab this loot. And this is the area where we killed the dog, and I told you not to climb up the ladder, because this would have been essentially the point where you climb up this ladder and then slide down the ladder that's basically a trap. You don't want to deal with that. So the dog is dead, as you can see. That's why we killed it, so we didn't get jumped by that thing as we were coming down this way. And we just want to hug this area here. And we're going to go around. We're not going to go up the stairs from that direction. Now, because we've dealt with the NPCs, we have this summon here if you want. This is Henriette. We're not going to worry about that. We don't need their assistance. But if you're struggling, I would consider that an option for you. Let's get this guy down here. So it's a lot easier to fight these enemies on this pathway here, because it's going to thin the total number of opponents that you've got to face when you get on the main stairs. And technically, we don't even really need to fight these guys. Like, we've cleared all the area that we're going to clear to get to Amelia Vicar. So this is definitely something that you can just run through. This is the same path we took to get to Hemwick Charnel Lane, so you should be very familiar with this by now. We, of course, didn't loot this area like I intentionally told you to skip it. Now that one and the one around the corner you can see in front of me with its hat has a ranged attack, so you want to be a little careful with that. We don't really need to kill that guy. I'm just, like I said, I'm taking you through this a little bit methodically to kill these things so that we can get all the loot easily. It's unfortunate. Oh, that should have shot. Alright, he's just gonna fire at me, screw it. I'm sitting there watching any movement to parry, but he's just firing his gun, so that doesn't really help us at all. That's another, as you can see there, standing up close to an enemy is actually a huge benefit in this game, especially if you're on the stairs. Like if you're on the bottom of the steps here and they're just like above you a little bit, they're almost always going to swing over your head. So it's just, normally in almost any situation, the lower ground would be a disadvantage. In this game, it's sometimes the opposite, so especially if you're facing a bigger enemy, they're gonna swing over your head frequently, so it's worth considering. Sometimes if you're just running through this area, the big guy that we killed, the giant man, he'll usually be right about here, so just be mindful of that. These guys are pretty easy. They're stronger, but their attacks are slower. So basically whenever you see them start to move their weapon, that's when you just pull the trigger. See, like it didn't look like that guy was going to attack me there, but he has started to move it already, so he's got a wide parry range. Alright, so in this door is the boss fight. Just opening the door doesn't start the fight, so it's actually going all the way up the stairs after you open the door. So don't be worried about it. There's no reason to necessarily open the door yet. We want to complete this area off to the right. And this area is going to be tough, so I want you guys to be aware of that. This is completely optional if you want to do this right now. There's some good loot to be had here, though. But these hunters down below that we're about to face are very, very, very tough. So you can see the first one, and they have their back to us if we approach from this angle here. So you see the one with the rifle spear looking weapon, and then the electro mace kind of off in the center of the screen. I can't really move the camera or he'll be covered by the tree, but you can see his weapon sparkling there. So we want to deal with these one at a time, and if you approach from this fashion, even if you're making a bunch of noise, the one with the mace won't really pay attention to you. So this is good for us. And you just want to drop down here to the right, and then move slowly. Make sure you get your target on. We're going to use the tree for cover after we land our visceral attack. So this tree right here, we're going to back away and get behind that, because this guy is going to spam his firearm. So we just want to make them come to us. Okay. And I'm going to suggest making the weapon long. And we're going to try to utilize our cover here. Now it is hard to keep eyes on the enemy because of the camera angles. But we can definitely utilize the tree here. It's just like the Father Gascoigne fight. You can use most of this to your advantage. Now, obviously, the enemy can get to us too. But really what we're using the tree for is to keep off of their gunshot range. Oh, I hate the camera. Don't get impatient. Getting impatient will get you dead. This guy will parry you if you just go in there swinging. It's nearly impossible for them to parry you from the tree. Even if they do land a parry, they're not going to close the distance because that tree's preventing them so. See, the shotgun is so widespread that it's not going to deal a lot of damage to you. It's not even a shotgun, really. It's the spear gun, but still. They have two different gun mechanisms. That's why it seems like they just shoot forever. Now, you can definitely do this a lot faster if you want to fight and try to parry him and things like that. But I'm just trying to show you the easiest tactic to defeat this enemy. Did you lose interest in me? They were trying to bait me out. Come on, one more hit. I think they do. They might heal. I can't remember. Alright. So as you can see, the other enemy is pretty much unaware of the situation, so you just want to make sure that you approach from that direction up top so you can take these guys on one-on-one. You can still come down from that wraparound stairs that you see directly above my head and get this guy's attention solo, but it, of course, prevents you from getting the backstab damage on him that we're about to get right now, and that's huge. And this guy, we're going to do in a similar fashion. We can use the well here, but we want to make our axe a little bit longer. And I like to use the well because we don't lose targets so easily. And we're just going to use the L2 attack. Makes this fight real simple. This guy does a shit ton of damage with that weapon, so you do not want to get out from behind this well. Even at that point there, he could still one-shot me, so need to be careful. There we go. Good job. So those enemies can be extremely difficult if you don't approach them in a tactical fashion. Using the environment to your advantage in this game is key in a lot of situations.
Bless us with blood. Bless us with blood.
Okay, and I'll spare you the time. The other door says the same thing. Now we've got a little critter over here, so you want to come in fast. There are a lot of nightmare creatures in this zone, so it's really good to get your kills in. There's nothing on this rooftop besides birds. There's no loot here, so there's really no reason for you to come on this rooftop. Unless you decide to fight... Sorry. Unless you decide to fight the enemy from up here for some reason. Like, maybe you try to kite them up the stairs and do a jumping attack. Again, it's a much more difficult proposition than what I've just showed you, so I wouldn't suggest that. But it is an escape avenue. If you get flustered and the enemy starts chasing you, and you need to basically separate and put some space in between you, definitely going up those stairs will help you get some distance between both of the enemies if they've ganged up on you. Alright, so we have two options. We can go down this stairs here, or we can go across the side. We want to go this way, and we're going to have a kidnapper enemy here, so I'm going to suggest using your axe in a long fashion. And you just want to keep distance from them. They've got real slow attacks, and they've got like one or two really quick attacks, so that's what we want to see. We just want to see the punch, and then just back off. Let them do their things. You know, don't... Oh, you see what I'm saying? Like, super damage. Oh my god, the tree. So, if that had killed me, we'd be in the secret world of fun times. So, just be very careful. And if you're not confident about this fight, then you don't need to fight him. We can actually just bypass him altogether. Oh my god, the speed. The speed! As you can see, I'm not playing around with how much I'm gonna use. Sometimes he's a lot more passive. Just the damage is huge. Alright. But, of course, you get those nice upgrade shards, so... To me, it's worth it, but... If you, like, if you die, you're gonna end up in a bad spot. So I would say, overall, just bypass the guy. And you can literally just run right by him. Like, you can just drop down here. You can see the little spooper dude there. We'll come back to get that. But as long as you keep moving and just drop down here, he's not going to pursue you all the way. So you just keep going, and then you get these guys. And then you get this buddy. Make sure you keep swinging so you can get that health back. That guy should have died. I hit him twice. I don't know how he lived. And we've got the... Whoa, shit. We've got the executioners down here. There should only be one that aggroes right now. The other one is going to be way down towards the doors. I'd rather him swing again so that I can drop down without him. There we go. Alright, cool. Grabbing the loots. This is our way back. This area right here will allow us to return. Now, I want to caution you guys. I have reset after missing a nightmare creature in this zone, and for some reason the enemies respawned. I think it's connected to going into that zone there. So before we actually go into that zone, I'm going to reset after I kill this guy here. We're going to see some more nightmare creatures around his area scurry away. So let's get this boy. That should have worked. Now, they're not as strong. Oh, shit. I was gonna say, they're not as strong as at the beginning of the game, basically. Because you were just so weak at that point that you can do damage to them with your axe without having to count on the parries. So if you just want to bait out their attacks... Oh my god. I'm having a really bad time with combat right now. I'm just dodging at the worst possible times. I'm gonna die to a fucking executioner. It's just unbelievable how much range they fucking cover. I'm gonna shoot this guy. I'm sick of this shit. I'm trying to show you that you can deal significant damage to this motherfucker, and he's just abusing me. Abusing me! And it's not like I'm gonna edit it and make myself look like a fucking god or something, because that would be some shit. God. I feel like the dude from the Great White Hype when Marlon Wayans, I think it was Marlon Wayans. No, it wasn't Marlon Wayans. Who was it? One of the Wayans brothers. He was getting his ass beat by this Great White Hype boxer on pay-per-view. And the dude like snaps out of it. He's like, this motherfucker's trying to embarrass me on national TV. And then he just beats the shit out of him. That was kind of what was happening there. I hit a point where I'm like, you know what? I've just wasted like 10 heals on this piece of shit. I'm about to shoot this guy in his fucking head. Boom! Dead. All right, now that I've done my rant. Now let's go ahead and do our quick load. I'm actually going to... No, let's do it. I'm going to do it from up here. Because if it does it to me like the last time I did this, those guys are going to be... Like, all the enemies are going to be respawned. And that was some bullshit. Alright, this is good. Can't trust it. Where you at? Come here, spoops. Ah, shit. I think the other one's probably gone. Oh, whoa. Buddy. You ran a long ways away. We'll see if we can get the other one. Wait, no, he's... Where is he gonna be? We'll get him on the way back. Actually, I want to get him before I reset. I'm gonna reset inside that structure there and show you what I'm talking about. I think it's a bug. There he is. Come here. Nice. Because I plan on fast traveling back to the Hunter's Dream anyways, I just want to confirm that this is a bug or not. Alright, so we'll go in. There's no more enemies to be afraid of or anything like that, so... No fear. Well, technically there is one. Don't be a scared, though. Alright, so... If you go up to this door, you don't want to hang out here. I'm just going to show you. You can hear it. You can see the spoop. You need a certain amount of insight to be able to see that altogether. If it's not 15, it's 40. So yeah, lots and lots of insight needed. And it's not necessarily worth it, you know, not for your first playthrough. There's no reason for you to stockpile insight. You should actually be spending it on items as you need it, specifically attire and things like that, as you've seen me do. Okay, so what we're going to do here is quick load. As you can tell, we haven't rested. We haven't done anything to warrant having enemies respawn. So this is purely just for science. We're experiencing some kind of weird bug-like phenomenon that this room will reset enemies if I close and rejoin. Let's check it out. Yep, they're there. I mean, it's crazy. I don't understand it. I don't know if there's another point in the game that behaves this way. It's really, really, really odd, though. All right, so what we're going to do is access our hunter's mark. You could work your way back, but there's honestly no reason. We've completed the zone. We've done what we've come to do. Now we're going to upgrade our material, our weapons, and our level, and then we're going to do the boss fight. Okay. So we've got the NPCs here. We can go ahead and talk with them.
Oh, hello, dear. You weren't lying. This is a safe place. Thank you. I'm in your debt.
So we get the curtsy gesture, and then she's going to offer her blood.
I'd like to tender my thanks, but I haven't much to offer. All I can give is my blood. But would you even take a whore's blood?
So we definitely want to receive this blood treatment.
Oh, good. Come close, dear. Don't worry. This isn't the first time.
Okay, so if you talk to her again, she's just going to say that she can't give you any more blood. So anytime you use that item, she will give you another one if you talk to her. You can just equip it on your fast use belt, just like you could use Yosefka's. Again, I don't really use these things unless I'm having some kind of struggle scenario, but since Yosefka is no longer the same, they're not going to offer us blood vials anymore, so hers is a little bit more rare. The blood of Ariana you can use as much as you want, so if you're going to use one over the other, I would use this one. So now it's in our inventory, and eventually we're going to have another NPC here who's going to be pissed off when we start taking blood from Ariana. So if you want to keep Ariana safe, you're going to stop receiving blood from her at that point, and I'll make sure to remind you guys of that again. Here we've got the old man that we brought in.
Ah, you. The swindling off-comer. Did you really think that'd work? There's no fooling me. Now, off with you. You heard me. Go away. I can't stand the stench of your lying breath.
So if we told him about Yosefka's clinic, he comes here. If we told him about Odin Chapel, he goes to Yosefka's clinic. So we want him here. Again, you have to tell this man about Yosefka's clinic.
I'll spare you one nugget of advice. Beware the blind man. There the beggar sits at the bottom of the bloody food chain, and then he's here acting like he owns the place. He's not to be trusted. What's he want with all those people anyway? That little weasel has a murky past, I'm telling you. Give it a rest, please. I've no time for your petty lies. And what? Just go away now. I can't stand the stench of your lying breath.
How rude. So that's it for his dialogue. Now we can go talk to this fellow over here.
Ah, the hunter. Thank you. So that old man, you told him about this place, right? Well, he don't offer me much in the way of conversation, but still, I'd rather see him alive anyhow. And I sort of hope that my asking you turn out to, you know, help him out in the end. I've never been any use to anyone, you see. Just happy about it, is all.
The strange thing is, if you talk to him again, he doesn't really seem to acknowledge that we've brought this lady here, which is kind of strange. I think if we didn't bring the man here, if we actually told him about Odin's chapel, and then he went to the Yosefka clinic, I think the guy would be talking about her, but he chooses to talk about him, even though they both are here. All right, so what we're gonna do is return to the Hunter's Dream. We've got some upgrades to apply. She's looking quite different. So you'll notice different behaviors the more insight you have. Right now we have 11. If you have 0 insight, she's not animated at all. So there's lots of different subtle changes in the game the more insight you have. So keep that in mind. If you want to lower your insight, I would suggest getting things like fire paper. Those are going to be really useful for you, especially in beast type boss fights. Again, whatever you may have, if you've got some attire that you can still purchase, things like that. There's no reason to have your insight high unless you want to see something unique or you want a tougher challenge, because you will have tougher enemies. So here we want to increase our Hunter Axe to +6. This is good on many levels, but most importantly, now we can apply the 3rd Bloodstone tier to it. So let's see, Blood Gem Fortification, there we go. And now you should have a variety of these potentially, but we've got the Tempering Bloodstone Triangle at the moment. If you didn't apply the tier to your pistol, you would have the ability to apply it here as well. So don't use the tier in this slot though, because you can use it in any of the others, and this one will have more powerful items, more unique items. So you can see here, this one's really beneficial. Gives us 4.2% attack power up, and it also adds a slow poison effect. I'm going to change this second one here because currently it's got the thrust attack up to 7.2, and we're just not using thrust attack with the axe. Now we've got a better one that we picked up anyways. So this one's going to give us physical attack and increased attack at full hit points. And we also could change this as well if we find a better gemstone, but again, it's the thrust attack, which I don't care for. This one overall is going to be a better situation for us. So we're in a good spot right now. Going to continue to... Ooh, I don't want to change that. Sorry. I want to continue to fortify the gun if I can. Okay. And we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and upgrade our strength a little bit. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Alright, so get your strength up as high as it'll allow you. And what we're going to do now is, oops, we're going to work on our items here. So we want to have the fire paper and, where are you at? The numbing mist. Those are the two items that we'll want for the boss fight, Vicar Amelia. So all we need to do now is head back to the Cathedral Ward. All right. We're just going to run past all the enemies. So don't worry about stopping the fight. That's why we've gone through here and grabbed all the items that we could. We've done all the stuff we need to do in this zone. Now it's just time to finish it off. There's absolutely no reason to stop and fight these guys. They shouldn't be able to hit you. The only thing that can realistically hit you is the big boy. Anybody else, you should just be able to run straight by. And this guy you don't need to pay attention to. He can't hurt you while you're opening the door. I know it's stupid, but that's the way the game is, so take advantage of it. He won't follow you in here. Once you're in the area, they'll just stay by the door. They're not going to pursue all the way in. All right. So after you get the cutscene here, we're going to immediately use the fire paper, and then we're going to go to the numbing agent. And you'll only use the numbing agent when the boss is about halfway health-wise. This should be a relatively simple fight. We're going to stay as close as we can to the boss, dodge any of their attacks that we can. We're going to try to stay to the side of them and attack the arms. If the arm is planted on the ground holding weight, try to hit the arm. You can damage the arm, and then it'll sometimes stagger the enemy as well. That looks really, really painful. Really painful. Hello, puppy. Good pupper. You can see how it kind of grabs. It's already not having a good time. Oh. That's not good. I didn't have good enough vision on that. Okay, in a second, I'm gonna throw this. There we go. So that prevents the boss from being able to heal. Okay, now we're gonna heal. Oh my god. I just fucked that up big time. Alright, so ultimately my big mistake there was not listening to my own advice. I like pretty much never died to that boss, so I kind of forgot about that being so devastating of an attack. So we'll just continue on our path, no problem. Give you a good idea of how simple this is to get back. We're going to start with the fire paper once we get inside the door. Whoops. That wasn't that loud. Normally that guy's just destroying the ground beneath you. Okay, so right before the fog gate, you're going to do the fire paper. And then we're just going in immediately. If you want to focus on your blood echoes, you can. Shouldn't be too dangerous. Boss likes to do that scream. Oh. Come here. You see there? Gets that collapse. Do a shit ton of damage with this fire. Now you can see why I took the boss for granted. It's a very easy fight in my opinion. And this is where it's trying to heal. Oh my god, please do not die twice to this thing. I swear, only when you're recording does stupid shit happen to you. Okay. I gave myself the good old curse. This boss is easy. Almost die again. So frustrating. Let's check out the gold pendant before we do anything else. I'm a wacky dude. Jesus Christ. Never learn. Oh, wait. Here we go. The pendant of Vicar Amelia, used to change into a blood gem which fortifies weapons. This pendant, passed down among the vicars who head the healing church, is a reminder of the cautionary adage, words that will open the gates of Bergenworth. So, cautionary adage is the password. Let's go ahead and inspect this item here.
Master Willem, I've come to bid you farewell.
Oh, I know. You think now to betray me.
No, but you will never listen. I tell you, I will not forget our adage.
We are born of the blood, made men by the blood, undone by the blood. Our eyes are yet to open.
Fear the old blood. I must take my leave.
By the gods, fear it, Lawrence.
Interesting memory there, old Lawrence, old pal. That is one terrifying skull, if there ever was one. Alright, so before we forget, let's just go ahead and take those items off of our quick action belt and put the pebble back on. Go ahead and just put the healing item there as well. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, and you're watching the guide, so what does that make you? Alright, let's go ahead and hit this lamp. We're going to return to the Hunter's Dream. And let's go ahead and get to this pendant here. Gold blood gem. It's pretty cool looking, huh? Let's check that one out. Oh, there we go. A blood gem that fortifies weapons and adds various properties. Most radial blood gems have effects that bear upon physical attacks, and this golden radial blood gem, kept for generations within the church, strengthens attacks against those afflicted intensely by beasthood. When clerics began transforming into unspeakable beasts, the church needed something to retaliate with. So this is a great item, as there are tons and tons of beast-like enemies. What I would suggest typically with this item is having your secondary melee weapon. Oop, not that. Your secondary melee weapon have equipped for like specific enemy encounters like beasts. That would be a great thing to have. That way your normal damage dealing weapon is just a broad physical increase in damage or thrust or whatever you may be wanting to benefit from. But your secondary weapon is very specific for those specific encounters. That's what I would suggest, because it's going to be rare that you're using your secondary weapon, because you're always going to have a favorite. Everybody's got a favorite and they're going to play with that. So the reason that I use the axe is because we can get it from the start. It's really easy. It's a basic weapon. It's not going to confuse anybody. And if you can beat the game with the axe, then you can beat the game with almost any weapon, because the axe is one of the slowest weapons in the game. So if you can master a slow weapon, then you can become even better with quicker, faster weapons. Okay? So we'll go ahead and inspect this here. The eye of a blood-drunk hunter beckons hunters to the hunter's nightmare. A deformed creature will whisk you away outside of Odin Chapel. So yeah, there is some interesting stuff there. I'm not going to elaborate on that just yet. I do feel like it's important to talk about the fact that after killing Vicar Amelia, the time of where we are has changed. So it's progressed forward, and that's another reason why we were a little bit hesitant to kill Vicar Amelia, because I wanted to take that time to push certain quests ahead. So at the beginning of next episode, we're going to push forward some of those quests even further, and we'll be progressing into the new zones as well. Let's go ahead and see if we can fortify anything a little bit more. We're good here. This is where you should probably decide which weapon you're going to use as your secondary weapon and continue to build that. I will say that since we're focusing on strength with our axe, we should probably consider our secondary weapon to also be a strength type weapon, because if we have our secondary weapon be something that benefits from like arcane or something like that, it's not going to be very good, even though it's got beast implementations through the blood gems and stuff like that. So just think about what you want to do. This could also be a good moment for you to go ahead and start to buy a lot of the gear that's on the merchants, because we're going to start getting into the abilities to get blood echoes pretty easily. We're going to start fighting a lot of enemies that give us more blood echoes per kill. So acquiring the weapons and stuff like that is going to be at a good rate right now. So the Kirk hammer obviously would be something that's good for a secondary strength build. If as you improve weapons, their scaling effect might become better. Like something that's a D in strength could become a C in strength. So I would just suggest looking at what your build is, how you want to progress forward, and going along the same benefit path for your primary and secondary weapon. So we'll be going with the Kirk hammer for our secondary. And as you can see, if you scroll through, you'll still see like the special attack ratings against like beasts and whatnot. So keep that in mind as well. All of these right now have the same special attack ratings. So we'll go ahead and get the Kirk hammer. And this is also a good opportunity if you want any other ranged weapon. Right now we've got, we should have the Hunter pistol and the blunderbuss, and I'm good with either one of those. We can go ahead and buy the rest. We could start buying some of this prospector gear. This is just for fashion, really. We're not going to be wearing too much of this stuff, but nice. Nice, nice. All right, so that's going to be it for this episode. I'd love to encourage you guys to join me over on Twitch any chance that you get. It's twitch.tv/baldandbearded. I stream very often, and the best part about streaming is having an audience that I share something in common with. So if you're watching these videos on YouTube, that means we play the same games, and I'd love to talk to you about them while I'm streaming them as well. So I hope to see you there, and you guys take it easy. Peace.